Hey everybody, this is Frank Data Di Lorenzo. Welcome to another edition of QuickLaunch Live. I'm thrilled to be here with you here today to talk about multiple modules in reporting. That has always been a bit of a challenge, so I'm excited to dive into that with you today. And I had a bit of a PowerPoint hiccup, wouldn't you know? So I'm getting that worked out. But hey, if you're out there with us today, do me a favor and let me know. Just put in the comments, hey, I'm here, where you're viewing from. If you have any questions, please put those in the chat as well. I always like to have some dialogue back and forth. Let's keep in mind the spirit of these Quick Launch Live sessions every Thursday at 8 are 15 minutes to talk about tips and tricks that help you think about your data and your data driven experience. Understand the difference between what's a good tool and being data driven. The other one is AI. That's something that I'm excited to talk a bit about today, just introduce a little bit. Now, let's see if I've got my technology right. And just at the last minute, it comes through. So let's see if we can share a screen and walk through this together. And again, keep in mind, please put comments in the chat, any questions in the chat. Also, keep in mind if you go to our preferred strategies LinkedIn homepage. Hey, Chase, how are you? Thanks for being here with us today. If you go to our preferred strategies company page on LinkedIn, all of our past events every week are there on demand for you to be able to view at your leisure. Also, I put some slides in each one typically. If there's any of the slides that would add value, morning, Jill, just reach out to me. I'm happy to share the deck. And most importantly, if you want to talk about anything data, anybody at Preferred Strategies would love to do that. This is what we're about. It's what we do. So let's share my screen and jump in. And it's working now. This is good. Okay, so reporting across multiple modules. How does this come up? How does this happen? Well, as you all may know, I kind of grew up more in the construction space, so a lot of construction ERP reporting, which necessitated reports around job costing. So that was a big module. General ledger, job costing, and then payables, receivables, many of the others. But I could have a great report that I've written out a job cost, think I'm done. In the last minute, my boss or the project manager looking for the report, he or she says, "Oh, I need open payables on that report or open receivables. How can you help me with that? How can we add that?" You just, ooh, realize how difficult they may have just made it. So, our example today, we're going to look at the current state of reporting. So, from our ERP, we custom write reports. Anybody familiar with the term crystal reports? Good morning, Eric from Idaho. If anybody's used a lot of Crystal or Excel for that matter in their ERP reporting, throw that in the chat. It'd be good to know. And I would say some companies I've worked with, their ERP, data in ERP and Excel are almost 50-50. They really rely on Excel probably more than, is proper for a good reporting process. And then Power BI reports, same thing with Power BI. Great tool, as we all know or are getting to know quickly in the industry. I can take Power BI and I can create reports directly off my ERP, but I'm kind of creating the same scenario where I've got custom report, Power BI, separate custom report. And if I have data in each one of these mini data sets that I created, and I want to report across them, that becomes a little more problematic or challenging. So our example today, we're going to look at job cost to create a quick report. That'll be fun. It's always fun writing reports. But then we're going to add receivables, see how we can bring over maybe an open aging balance. And then if we're successful there, let's show off a bit and see if we can bring in accounts payable as well. So that's what we'll be doing. And we have someone from Houston with us today. All right. I think two Houstoners are on there. Yeah, we got three folks from Texas. Welcome. Texas is running the show today. Okay. Custom reports Power BI by module. So if I mentioned earlier, if I take Power BI and I go to write a report, I've got three reports I've written out of job costs, three out of receivables, maybe three out of accounts payable. Each report's its own mini data set. So that means it's self-contained in a way, in a sense, with the data I've chosen to embed in that report. So if I want to pull data from, say, this report and then this one way over here in accounts payable, again, that presents more of a challenge. So as we become more mature in being data driven, what companies will do, and this is better, is they'll custom write a data model for a module. So this is transformed job cost data. We'll see something that looks kind of like a representation of this in a moment. Same with AR and AP. Now that's better. Now I'm writing multiple reports off one module data set as opposed to separate data sets for every single report. 10 job reports, 10 data sets. No, I just have my one data set now. But still, the issue of going across the bridge from job cost over to AR, AP, and so forth. So we're going to touch on that. Single source of truth. This is busy, but I'm going to try and use this visual to get across my point, and that is having everything in one data model. Let's break it down for a moment. Just let me consume this with you. Here are the modules. So I mentioned job cost, AP, AR, other modules as well. So now all the modules, i.e., perspectives, are in the one cube. Now, measures are what I want to report upon, like KPIs, year to date, quarter to date, gross profit. So all my measures contained in the same model. And then finally, how I want to slice and dice that data. What dimensions do I want to break that data down by? So I've got customer, supplier, maybe GL account, business unit in this case. Calendar is a big one. We'll see an example of that. Much easier for me to pull quarter to date information from sales, job cost, AP, and AR by customer, by account, if all of that data is existing in one cube. So that's my point. Another way to consider this is this, and I know this is a lot of info on here, but what I want to illustrate is if you look at an iceberg, that's the visual to represent this. And this is why do many companies fail at strategic BI? Well, fact is, it's really hard. It's really hard. The tool part's easy. So this would be, a Power BI, maybe a Tableau, shoot, even Excel, paginated reports. These are the tools you use. What makes you data driven is what happens beneath the water, the bigger part of the iceberg, if you will. So setting up this data structure properly enables these tools to effectively be used to get our arms around our data for actionable and insightful information. That's what we're after. As I always say, business moves at the speed of light. We need our reporting to be able to follow suit, and more importantly, our decision making upon that reporting. So this is the fun part. That's what we're going to play with. This is what's making it go. And if you are fortunate enough, based on your ERP, to have an option to be able to buy a data model where all this is already figured out, then that's something I'd strongly consider you to look at. Thank you, Jill. Powerful slide. I agree. In fact, I'll share that one. I agree. So if you're fortunate enough to be able to have somebody that's done this for you, I suggest you, strongly consider that. For us, our team, we have this structure pre-built for JD Edwards, Viewpoint Vista, and NetSuite as well. So those are the ERPs where this is kind of out of the box with our team. But the message is the same across the industry. So, okay, with that said, let me go through some examples. Okay, so I started with the end in mind. This is a finished product. This is some of the beauty that you can create. Just one report This actually started as a dashboard, and then I drilled into GL. I'm only showing pieces because of our time, but notice on these KPIs, I'm able to start using some of the AI machine learning within Power BI by clicking in Get Insights. And it's pretty darn cool over here. If I float over any insight, it's showing me the visual that it picked up something it thinks I should know about. Overall expenses is above target. Notably, the object account and 14 other segments is significantly above their targets. I can click on here and drill down if I want. If I scroll further, maybe my gross profit percent. So as I'm scrolling through these insights, which might give me some food for thought that I missed, it's showing me where in my data it picked up that insight. So that's just another powerful piece, leveraging transformed data, a good data model, with the AI capabilities that continue to improve quickly within the Microsoft framework, in this case, Power BI. Then here's an example of a job report, just really quick. So this one is a finished job report that has WIP, earnings, backlog, several other things. Some of the cooler capabilities here is I can start diving in. Washington Sanitation steel frame, minus 7.1 million. That's caught my interest. Have we billed anything? Well, let me get to the source. Devil's in the details, right? So here's every transaction, excuse me, that makes up that job to date billing on that job. And then here I can further hone in if I want to filter by some of these filters I put there. So that's cool. But let's look now at the beginning. So I'm going to open up this report. Here's one where I just started building a little job cost report for myself. And let's put this back to job cost. So we're going to do a quick one together. I have 4 minutes. I'm going to take 3 of them to do this. Jeez, I hate when I put pressure on myself. Here we go. All right. So this is the transform job cost perspective, or the job cost piece of that model. These are all my facts. So that's all these folders with all the measures already pre-created. There's probably near 1,000 of them here in job cost, or somewhere along that order of magnitude. But I'm going to grab job cost build. Boom. I want to get some cost to date. I float my mouse over it. That's for the whole company. Going to make this a little larger. Well, snap it. There we go. A little larger. Now I want to slice and dice this by something. Now keep in mind, if I look at the job, all the fields are meta tags. So if there's an address, I can actually use that as a geolocation. But I'm going to do this one just so you see that these are all transformed. I'm going to do this one by contract, number, and name, which is concatenated because we know you almost always pull those 2 fields. So that's just the data model being improved for ease of use. So that's good. Now I want to look at this more like a spreadsheet. So there's my table view. Now I need to add some calendaring to this. So I'm going to say I want a slicer, please. And I'm going to say I want to do this by fiscal. I can find fiscal. Every date you think of is pretty much here. Not the one I was looking for. I have so many, you know what? I'm just going to do this and search for it. Year, period. Here we go. It's under relative dates. So now I've got these filters. I don't like that look. You've seen me do this one before. So I move this to my phone. That's no fun. So I'm going to say, could you make this tiles for me, please? Thank you. And then notice as I scroll through and I select, let's get maybe to 2007, somewhere there. And I can filter these years to start at a certain year if I wanted to. If I say 2008 or 5, the data is going to respect the filter, see? So no data back in 06. I had just the one job in 07, turn that off, I'm back to everything. I'm done. I did my job cost report. I'm ready to go. I just got asked that fateful question. Oops, could you just quickly add for me Open AP and Open AR? Oh, how am I going to do that? Well, here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to collapse all this so we see there's our job cube. Here's the entire cube. So I need AR. I'll just come here. I want the AR aging open amount. Sure, I'll throw that in the visual. Okay, that was pretty easy, we have to admit. I've got 1 minute left. Can he finish? Up against it. Now let's add the AP. Same thing. So, and this is now going to respect the filters as well. I did not have to write a single formula, NA sum, summarize transactions from Jan 1 to Jan 31 and column period 1. I didn't have to do any of that. It's that simple. And now I can continue to build my masterpiece. I can take this visual, copy it, make it a chart while this one's a table. I could bring this over to my mobile. So the world's your oyster, but what made this tool, Power BI, really effective in this case is how the data is transformed in this data model. So leveraging this allows me to build this. I've tried this same example off Viewpoint, just off the raw data. It was not so easy to get this and then have the drill downs and whatnot. So, okay, I did it right at the line, 8:15. So I wanted to finish that report. Let me just summarize by saying again, Preferred Strategies, we're all about your data, 21 years now. We just love to discuss this. It's our passion. If you have questions, you're wondering about a tool, how to begin, where to start, just reach out. And if you watch any of these on demand, put a comment in there so we know they're being viewed. That's always great. This is AI driven, pressure's on. I love the comments too. Thank you, everybody. Go enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I am Frank Data D. Lorenzo with Preferred Strategies. QuickLaunch Live, we're all about your data. Have a great day and thank you.